Good morning. So we left camp at about 7:30. We were the only ones there last night when we went into bed, and then we could hear a whole bunch of young people come in, and we thought, oh no, it's a weekend. We're close to town. Here maybe we shouldn't, because I think we were an hour or a mile and a half from the town's edge. So we're thinking, oh no, here we go. They're gonna have a bunch of teenagers partying all night, and then there was you could hear a whole bunch going on for a while, and then all of a sudden it was dead quiet. So I thought they had left. And then this morning when I got up to go pee, Faye's like, they're out there, right? And I was like, no, they left. They got all quiet. And she said, no, I heard them say goodnight. And so I got up, and there was a sea of hammocks and tents. And so I was talking to them this morning, and it's a scout troop. So they were really nice neighbors. They were really quiet. They got up at 6:30, same time as us. They're packing up. There was 11 or 12 of the scouts, and then plus their guides in this group. But there's another 20 scouts up the way a little bit, where they're going to go meet up with them today. So there'll be like 32 scouts and their guides all running around these woods. They're going to go play around on some rocks, and they all camp for the night. What a nice little group they had there. And very, like I said, when they went quiet, they went quiet. It was dead quiet. And even this morning, for having that many young ones around, they were actually really quiet. So that was really nice. So our plans today are, we don't have any big plans. We're heading into Damascus. We're going to switch out Faith's sleeping bag at the outfitter. We're going to mail some stuff home and find food, because even though we send our resupply boxes, I had sent the one to Boots Off, kind of knowing that we had 200 miles in between. This is one of the longest ones. I think there's only 2 boxes that we had that much in between, and it's because I knew we had Damascus that we could resupply at, and then plus there was I can't remember what the shelter's called, but you can order pizza and wings and stuff to it, coming up at 5:34. So I left us a little bit of room to play around and resupply on trail. So what we did out of the box out of Boots Off is we took 3 days worth to get to Damascus, sent the rest of it forward to the quarter way in, and then we'll sort it out and resupply with that from there. And then this will be the first time we had to do a full resupply in town. So we'll see how I make out. But this was the best I did at planning my food when it was only the 3 days. I took basically 3 little Ziploc baggies, and I broke up my stuff into days, and then I had a little bit extra. So this morning I still had an oatmeal, which Faith and I each still had an oatmeal, so we had that for breakfast. And in my pack for food, I have a couple sauces, and I have a pack of just 1 serving of potatoes and a packet of chicken. So this is the best I've done for food. I'm usually coming into town with days left, and this I just have basically another full meal or a snack and some potatoes. So I'm pretty proud of myself for not overloading this time. And so we're going to see now. This will be the first time I have to do a resupply with my food allergies and stuff just in the stores without any of my own stuff. So we'll see how we make out in Damascus. Oh yeah, and I don't know if I mentioned yesterday. So yesterday we ended up doing 17.5 miles to get to here, which is the longest we've done full packs. My legs felt sore last night. They felt different, but it was in different spots. And so Faith and I were talking about this morning. I think it's because the climbing was different. The terrain wasn't as steep, so you're moving a little faster, which is why everybody here, they tend to do the Damascus Marathon, is because the terrain makes it so that you can move a little quicker. But I think that uses different muscles. So I actually was a little sore last night, but so today though we are going to be climbing out of Damascus. So I'm not sure if there's a shelter at 11, but there's a whole bunch of tent sites Faith saw along the way. So we're not going to really make any set plans. We're just going to get done what we need to do. We do need to charge up, even though today is only day 4 and we normally have battery for at least 6. I was doing more editing on trail, and I want to get more editing done on trail and upload when I can on trail, so that it's not, when I get to town, such a huge job trying to get everything done. So that means I will go through a little bit more battery though. But so we're gonna find a place to charge up and deal with the outfitter, get a resupply, and then however far we go, we go. We're coming down I can see the town into Damascus. Look at all the mountains surrounding it. What a beautiful place. You can see there's the town there. Wow. What a beautiful spot. Okay.
There's no camping, but that's a shelter.
Yeah, it's the only shelter that we can't camp at, yeah. I think it's for like lunches and stuff, yeah. So we got Faith's new bag. Nemo sent it to her. And in there was a little Nemo sticker and a lollipop. That was pretty exciting to get a lollipop. Yeah, thank you, Nemo. Okay, there's the sign for Appalachian Trail Days. Man, is Damascus ever a trail town? We've only been here for a few hours and this place is amazing. And everybody is so kind, and we actually got trail magic in the diner. Somebody paid anonymously for our meals as a trail magic, and we have so many people asking us our first names. They're gonna pray for us, and everybody's smiling and waving at us as we're walking down the trail. Okay. Oh yeah, this is the church here, I guess, that you could set your tent up at. In the back, yeah. Yeah. Talk about a trail town. I can't wait to come back here next year for trail days. So exciting. So many nice people. Hike, bike. Yeah. Nice. So now we're on our way out. We do have a detour.
Trail Town, USA.
Trail Town, USA. I mean, and that is it. Yeah, so we do have a detour about 3.5 miles out. It's for the Creeper Trail. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this will be the last detour for the Helene damage. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe it is. So we're not, but this, where they detoured it here, I think this was part of the original AT. So it's kind of cool that even though we're being detoured, we're actually going to be detoured onto one of the old sections of the AT. So we did a total of about 4 AT miles today. We got into Damascus this morning and went to the outfitter and exchanged Faith's sleeping bag. Got to the post office, got it changed out. Then we were confused at where the grocery store was within like the trail, and we thought we would go back to it like after we already start back on the trail, and it wasn't. Once we were at the outfitter, we had to walk back probably at least 3/4 of a mile, if not a mile, to get back to the grocery store, and then come back to the back past the outfitter again. And we went into the diner, and that's where we charged up. I'll show you a picture of our system. I can't remember which YouTuber told us about it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been Rabbit from last year. And there's an Anchor battery bank that has extra charging ports. So we bought, and it's like a faster charge. So we bought an adapter, a plug-in that has, I think it's 135 watt speed for charging. Plus we got the fast charging cables. They're also thicker and heavier. And then we have the 2 Anchor systems. And so I know it's pretty heavy, but we've felt other people's battery banks, and when they're 10,000, like 2 of them together would probably be the same as what our 20,000 is. Maybe ours might be a little bit more. The charging block, that is what helps make it go fast charge, is £1. And then also even our cables, our cords are, they're heavier and they're thicker. But we can get charged up for a 6 days of battery within an hour. And so we had it plugged in. We just we plug it in. It only takes up 1 plug-in, and then there's 4 spots for charging on it. We had our battery banks, and then another hiker, when he came in, we still had room that he was able to plug into ours, which helped him get his done a little bit faster while we were there. But we had it all charged up while we were having lunch. They were charged to 100% within a little over an hour, maybe. I wasn't checking it the second time because people were talking, but I think it was just barely over an hour, which was just enough time we plugged it in as soon as we got in there. So by the time we were done our lunch and checked our map to where we're going to go, they were done. So I'll put a picture at the
one was empty.
And one was flat empty, and the other one I think only had 9% because I charged up my phone this morning. So they were almost completely out because even though we were only gone, today would have been day 4, we knew we were only going to be on trail for a few days. So like I said, I started editing and uploading videos and stuff on trail, so we went through a little bit more. But so that was what I was hoping for. I was hoping that, when we come into, because there's lots of times we'll come into little towns, little gas stations, that if we could just find a plug-in while we sit and have something to eat as we're going through, then we can charge up really fast and carry on. So this was the first time we resupplied. I shouldn't be allowed in the grocery store by myself. But I came up here, we got up here, I was just craving this fresh fruit that I had bought. It's a cup full of grapes and a cup full of peeled mandarin oranges. That together was 1.2 pounds of just those 2 fruits. So while we're up here tonight eating, once that's gone, that's already 1.2 pounds off my bag. And then I bought like smoked sausages that are pre-cooked. So we're gonna have sausages tonight and on wraps and stuff. So I did get a little extra, like more fresh fruits that would be fresh stuff that would be for today, and that's a little heavier. So we're gonna eat that up tonight. And the other reason why we decided for sure to stop here, because we weren't sure what we were gonna do today, but when we were climbing up, we saw at the bottom down by the road, it's about a half mile down, there was a full spring coming right out of the mountain pipe, and people were pulling up and getting their water. But we had water. We had both had a full liter. Faith had a little bit more than a liter. And then we saw the water would be just up the hill, just up here from here would only be a 0.3. But the comments are it's dry, and people are saying like that there's not much water when we get to the detour. So we didn't want another day like yesterday where we were kind of scrambling for water and it's hot. We're fully loaded. We just ate at the diner before we left here, and we're not doing good with town food when we're trying to leave. Like, all we had for breakfast was a little package of oatmeal, and we got to we walked into town. We walked all over town, Outfitters and everything. We never even had a snack, and we had reasonable stuff. Like I had it was a pork sandwich on a bun with some tater tots and a pickle, but I just felt so stuffed, and it did not feel great when I was climbing. I think you just can't climb on a full stomach is all. And every time you leave town, you're climbing. So I think you can't eat like big meals like that and then climb. It's just not working. But I was definitely craving that fresh fruit. So even though I was full when I got up here, me and Faith both were already picking at our grapes and stuff. So, but anyway, so I'm going to empty out my bag, and I'm going to take my bag back down a half mile down to the road, and we're going to get some fresh spring water for the night and for tomorrow, so that we start out from here with making sure that we have a decent amount of water. I think the one we know for sure that has good water is in 6.7. So as long as we've got enough water to get to that 6.7. But like today was hot, and I wouldn't have wanted to go any farther if there wasn't going to be water for another 6 miles. But I'll make sure that I'll go down and load up from that spring, and then we'll have lots of water to get us that 6.7 tomorrow. Anyway, so that's it for tonight, and I'll show you. I'll put the pictures of Damascus and everything on here, and then tomorrow we'll be heading into what I think should be our last Helene detour. So that'll be nice. But anyway, okay, good night all. So I'm climbing back up from my bonus mile, getting the water. But man, I should have taken a video of the spring. Oh, the water's so good. It was worth it. That's delicious water. And it's just like pouring out of the side of the mountain. And like I said, I don't know if I said it earlier, but people are pulling up with their cars, filling up their jugs with the locals. So you know it's good water. That was really good. So we're going to enjoy that tonight, along with our fresh fruit and our fully cooked sausages and stuff that we bought at the store today. I got to try to eat a couple pounds of food before we head out in the morning. So I think that's about it for tonight. I think when I get back up there, I might do a video about the trials. So at least I'll get that done since we're stopping early. It's only like 4:00 right now. It's hard doing that one because the judges, they make you so mad. And so when you talk about it, you get upset and frustrated. But I got to do it. People have to know certain things. I did talk in the other video about some of the stuff with Sammy's backpacks and Sam and Bridget and what they're going through. But we need to start focusing on a change with the judges, and you got to start somewhere. And they have been reaching out to the MPs and with the Crown and with, so I don't know. Anyway, I'll try to talk more about that in that other video. But for now, I'm going to go up and I'm going to enjoy my water and my fruit and my fresh food that I bought from town that I carried up to this campsite. I'm going to try to eat up before we head out tomorrow.